In today's episode, we're going to try and build a cargo plane to pick up all the logic blocks so they can do as few trips as possible. Because I get on with this plane so much, we're going to use this as our base design and we're going to go from here and see what we can come up with. First things first, we can land on our island where all the logic blocks are at, and then we can start devouring this little thing apart. And I have no reverse, and that's the end of that. Bye! So this is everything that we're going to try and fit into our cargo plane. About 7 blocks right here on the ground. I do want to build 2 vehicles. I want to build a cargo plane and I want to build a thing to load it. The tricky thing is, you can't build 2 separate vehicles in one build menu. So I might have to find a way to do that, but we'll see what we can come up with. Using this truck, we can work out that these little blocks of salvage are approximately 5 blocks wide, so that's what we've got to work with. To the build menu. Many hours later. Here we go then, folks. This is what we have come up with. We've got our cargo plane and our lifty truck at the back that we've connected with a little disconnection thing. So we disconnect, and that'll let us drive this off. And it's just a small little truck, nothing too crazy about it. On the front of this, we do have an electromagnet that we have attached to some hinges so that we can tilt this thing up and down to get any high to reach areas when we load up. We've also got the electromagnet on a couple of pistons so we can lift up and get into the back of the plane. However, the back of the plane, I have forgot one key thing. So we just hop in the plane, I'll show you. Okay, so we've got a couple of pistons on this. This set kind of push these 2 bars down, and that's to hold any salvage inside. And then there's this set that lift the whole cockpit, tail and everything up that give us room to get the salvage in. So now if I could just get to it, I'll be able to show you. Just tilt it back a bit. Should be able to get the salvage in here. We can turn off the magnet, bosh, and there it sits. And it'll just sit nice and snug in its little cage thing, and that'll be that. And the whole idea here is that we can fill this plane up with about 5 blocks of this salvage. So we will have to do a couple of trips, but hopefully we can line the belly of our cargo plane with this salvage. We'll be able to take off. Haven't actually checked, don't know what it'd be like for weight, but only time will tell. So we might have actually given ourselves a little bit of a problem here, because we might not be able to reach one of these little container slots. The fact that the second one in that's right underneath the cockpit might have to come at an angle, or just try and find a different way to load it up, because right now this might not fit. It kind of sits in the middle or more towards the front side, but I don't know, we might be able to force it in. I'm not too sure. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, ultimately I'm afraid because of how I stacked it, this one's just not quite going to go in. So we might be better off just leaving this one out and seeing how we go with the 4 that we've got in here already. That's pretty good, actually. Bearing in mind, my last land vehicle, I could carry 4 inside and hold 1 on the magnet. So an airplane that can carry 4 is a pretty good going, in my opinion. So if we just hop into the cockpit, we'll press 1 set of pistons and this lowers us down. This brings us nice and close. And then if we press the second set of pistons, it lowers all them poles. That just holds the salvage in place, so hopefully it shouldn't bounce out anywhere or rock and roll anywhere. So we should be good. Salvage should be locked in. That means that we are just ready to go. Start up the engines and off we trot. Awkwardly, we can't actually turn, and we have no reverse. So yeah, we're in a bit of a bother. What I'm going to have to do is use my little electromagnetic truck to readjust the position of the plane so we can actually fly off the edge of the cliff. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get our electromagnet, squish it onto the rear end of this plane, and then we're going to bring this plane into a position where it's going to be pointing off the cliff. That way we don't have to worry about hitting anything, and then hopefully if it doesn't fly when we go off the edge of the cliff, it might, fingers crossed, might be able to glide enough to get us to land. So we're kind of going for a worst case scenario, plane can't fly but can glide situation, depending on the weight of the salvage that's in here. I really don't know how this is going to work. I've not tried it yet. So there's a first time for everything, right? Well, here goes nothing. Now that we're all straight and square and exactly where we kind of want to be, pointing towards the cliff. Only one thing to do, just hop in the seat, start up them there engines, see how this goes. Fingers crossed. Ooh! Oh, I'm flying! And I've not dropped anything. None of the salvage has fallen out. It doesn't look like it's going to fall out. And it's actually quite stable. From a guy who really is bad at building planes to being able to build a plane that can carry weight, this is a big day for me. This is a very big day for me. So what we're going to do over here, we're going to aim for this little pod over here where we're going to drop it all off. I'm thinking if we can go in at an angle so we can kind of run across the beach, that'll be good. I've just got to try and get the angles right so that we can glide a little bit, and then try and lift up the nose as we go towards the beach. I want to miss the water, but I want to come at a nice angle so that we can actually land it in. So that should be about... Oh! Well, that was disappointing because I was very optimistic about that. It was going so well. The angle in my head seemed okay. I felt like we were going to be able to wheels down and across the beach, but I guess not. I guess we got it very wrong. Unfortunately, it means that we have now got to pick up all this salvage, and looking at the numbers of it, I'm hoping that the 4 that we've just taken is still down there. Or at least some of it must be still down there because it's not up here. So we'll just have to load this up, take a flight, see where we get to next time. I won't bore you guys with this one because it's just going to be loading it up again, so I'll catch you guys back in a second. We are 1 salvage short of a full plane for the 2nd time round. Oh, no, no. Why? Why did it have to do... Now I'm completely turtled upside down. If I press repair to rewrite this vehicle, is it going to empty my plane? What is going on? What is going on? I want to press repair, but I don't want to press repair because it's taken me so long to fill this thing up. I can't get upside down or the right way up. I'm completely and utterly turtled. So I'm just going to have to get out and, I don't know, take what I've got down to offload. Oh, getting out just destroyed me anyway. Great. Attempt number 3. Well, at least all the salvage is in a nice row for us to gather up and try and load up this plane. You know, for the 3rd time of trying to get this stuff landed. I thought this was going to be relatively easy, I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect to be able to smash my plane into the floor, then turn my vehicle upside down, kill myself getting out of the vehicle, need to reset my plane, and all the other endless problems that we're facing. But we will not let that beat us. We will load this plane up. The fact that I managed to get that into the middle slot means I can get 5 in this plane. Come on, we can do it this time. Go with me on this one, guys. So as it stands, guys, I loaded this plane up and then I went to take off and I slammed it into a cliff. 4th time's the charm? Okay, so after another lengthy session of loading this thing up, I've adjusted it so we're pointing straight into open space and straight over the cliff. We'll fire the engines up, and for some reason there's no propeller sound, I don't know why, and we'll get off this cliff and we'll see where we get to. Right, so we know that it flies. The next problem that we have is landing. So what we're going to try and do is bank round and go and sort of get flat, nice and flat onto this beach. I've got to try and avoid the water. If I'm not going to smash into the sand, my other risk is drowning in the water. And now my luck, yep, there we go. Straight into the drink. Ah! I'm not even going to tell you how many attempts this has been since I put it in the water. It's more than I'd like to care for. And I've just gone and blown up the back end of my plane. Wonderful. You know what? We're not going to let that beat us. I'm going to get out and I'm going to fly this plane. And I'm going to deliver these 3 pieces of salvage. I need to deliver something. This cargo plane is an idea that works. It flies, right? It's just user's error that's messing around because I keep crashing. It's not the game's fault, it's my fault. So this thing does fly, and I'm going to go somewhere different. I'm not going to go to that same place I keep smashing into the floor. I'm going to go to this little island out here. So we're going to land here. Nice and steady, nice and flat. Squeaky, squeaky. Down. Woo! We made it! Okay, so we've got a nice little ability to turn. Turn a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll just go forwards. I can't turn left. I think it's because it's broke. It's turning right all the time. But it's okay. I've got an idea. I'm going to use this truck. And what I'm going to do is electromagnetic this up. Boop, and somehow destroy this. Take 2. Grab it with the electromagnet. Then we'll raise up the piston at the back on these wheels. And we're just going to drive. And like an absolute genius that I am, through making all these different vehicles, I've somehow managed to deliver 3 salvage. Excellent. Now all we've got to do is go back, get the rest of the stuff, real easy, nice and simple, and we'll bring it here. Now I would like to tell you that this is the final attempt that I made of loading up this plane, but it wasn't. Because this plane is now facing a different direction. Because I ended up hitting the build thingy and it kind of respawned my entire plane. Anyway, this is all of the last salvage that we're going to do. This is it. And I'm going to land this plane full of the last salvage. And I'm going to go for my little island, wherever it was. Somewhere double back on ourselves. Because that seemed to work. It was a beautiful place to take it. And it worked for us. So I'm proving that I can build a cargo plane that is capable of carrying these cargoes and landing and dropping off. As we approach, coming in, squeak, nice touchdown, and bang. That is a perfect landing, ladies and gentlemen, because as soon as we hit that orb, it slammed the brakes on, stopping us from going any further, taking every little bit of salvage from us right here, right now. Round of applause for your hero. Thank you very much.